Let's talk about user research and just a few different tools that you might use to get started in your experience design research. To design user experiences, we have to understand how people are encountering the problem. This is one of the key charges of user experience designers is actually conducting user research and understanding the people going through the experience. A few methods here, some that I'm going to require you to use for this project are secondary research done through conducting a literature review, card sorts and interviews to collect qualitative data on the experience that you're researching in the people. And once you're actually designing your artifact, observations and user testing. Sometimes these things blend together and that's okay. It's qualitative research, and so it's a little bit messy and fuzzy. Literature reviews help us get up to speed on the topic that we are designing for. We are not experts in the field of most problems we are trying to solve, which means that other people have researched aspects of that problem before we step in to design something. Because we're not domain experts, it's best to understand what other people know first so that we're not starting from scratch. And it's also important that we are not just conducting research on the general topic. Usually the problem we're solving has a few different areas to it, and we can pull those from our concept map. So it's helpful to do research on the audience that we're designing for, the issue itself, and then the context that problem is occurring in. We can look at case studies of similar problems to see what people have tried before, and we can look at existing interviews with the people or domain experts who have encountered the problem before or aspects of the problem that we're researching. Card sorts are a tool that help us understand how our users think about a topic and how they group the related themes within that topic. We usually provide cards or sometimes on a digital whiteboard, just different words. And we ask the users to start grouping those things into larger categories. Oftentimes, you'll be surprised in what words or what themes users group together, but you might define some categories depending on your design context. For example, if you're designing a website for e-commerce, you might give the user cards with all the different products that you might be selling on the website and then ask them to categorize those. That would help you understand how your audience expects to navigate through the products on the website and helps you design your information architecture to match their mental model. Interviews are exactly what they sound like, and these get a lot easier the more you do them. They will become one of your very favorite user research tools. It's really important that you get used to writing interview questions where you don't lead the subjects. You don't want to influence the answers that you're getting. So write your questions beforehand and make sure that you're kind of vetting them to make sure that you're remaining neutral in your interviews with users. It's also important to leave room for questions that come up on the spot. And at the end of an interview, ask if there's anything that your subject wants to tell you that you didn't ask about. Oftentimes, they'll give you some information that you never would have gotten otherwise. These are great to do in person if you can, but obviously if you have to, you can always do these virtually. And finally, observations. These are a little bit like user testing, but sometimes you want to watch a subject go through the task or the experience that you're designing for. So for example, if we're designing for air travel, it would be helpful to go to an airport and just see how people experience air travel. Sometimes you want to do this in a way that doesn't influence the situation, so you just want to sit back without people knowing that you're observing them. But as you get further into your research, it can be helpful to recruit participants that will talk you through how they're thinking about the task as they do it. Again, as you're conducting user research, it's really important that you're thinking about the whole experience from start to end, not just the part of the digital screens that you're designing, but where the user enters into the experience, where they exit it, and how they're thinking about it afterwards. That is the holistic nature of user experience design, and that is why it's such a powerful tool in design.